learn about like from your experience, like you were in India, you study your bachelor and master as well. It is integrated program, right?
Yeah. Mine was an integrated program.
Yeah, so you start with like Indian research culture,
Hmm.
then move somewhere else like Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and you stayed there like how many years? 4 years
Yeah, three and
or
a half. Yeah, 3.5.
3.5, and then go somewhere else like
Yeah,
north part of the Europe.
yeah.
So what were the like main perspective differences like and working like habits differences between those areas? Like
Yeah, so I would say I say this like to Indians also, if you get a chance going abroad, if you do not have any limitations at like, you don't have any responsibilities, do go abroad for your PhD. Uh, India, some institutes are really good, okay? I mean, but still, they do not match the basic research institutes in Japan, I would say. Like, I didn't do in a great research institute in Japan, like by QS rankings, if you see, okay? But I would say the availability of resources is pretty easy in all this, like even in Uppsala, if you see. India, it is little difficult, especially if you're not from bigger universities. Okay, so I mean, like bigger in the sense really big. And India, the competition is fierce. There's a lot of people, a lot of ambition, and everybody wants to do, I mean, like, not everybody, I mean, like, so many people want to do a PhD. So there is this national level exam, which is really tough for me. At least for me, it is really tough. So I was like, I can draft a proposal which is easier for me than crack the exam. And that's why I just was applying for scholarships and things like that. And yeah, I would still say that resources in India is little bit, I would say, difficult to procure and manage with that. So you need a lot of. But then good part is if you apply to industry, you can have a like you can put on your CV had a good vendor relationships because you'll be contacting so many vendors for giving a good quote so that you can order. I mean, like you need not break your head on those things much and abroad. But yeah, that is one thing in India, I would say. The research, because of this, the research is slow. So in very good labs in India, maybe you will finish in 4 or 5 years. But sometimes because of this limitation, it does take up to like 7 years. So that is like 7 years of your life you are spending on your PhD. So if it is like a really good PhD, then maybe 7 years is worth it. But then if it's a okayish PhD, mediocre PhD, then 7 years is not worth it. Okay, so that is one thing I would realize, and that's why I never wanted to do it in India. Japan, I would say, because I was in a research institute, it's more fast-paced. I mean, like, and new materials is like really novel something you have to make. Okay, you cannot. I mean, like, even if there's something lab is working on, so that is really novel. So you are even though optimizing like in a certain way. So if it's like lab is working on A and somebody is coming and doing A plus B. So your task is A plus C. Okay, but the whole thing is A plus C may not work. So A plus B works, A plus C doesn't work. So now you have to find like so many combinations come. So that is if the lab has a specialization. But if it is not, then you have to really find novel materials and then for going into good journals or even decent journals and things like that. And that's little hectic sometimes, I would say. But then if you're I mean like if you're working hard enough and you somehow get a little lucky also you can find really nice papers, polymers, because I was working in polymers. uh Uppsala has been really nice in terms of work, I would say. Even Japan, my professor when I was working, he was very nice, super nice with the work culture. So that way I would say, blessed. Some people, I do not know, they have their own complaints like every other place. I mean, like everybody will have their own share. So, but then, yeah, Uppsala has been really nice in that way. I would say the work culture has been nice. But difference to India, these two countries, material procurement has been much easier, I would say. And resources, the availability of resources, the availability of, the instruments or something like that has been more. And that is something which is very helpful. So when I was in Japan, so it was a small research institute, and like we have over here clean room. There is clean room, and all the instruments are there. Okay, there's nothing like you have to run. I mean, like all the instruments you would need to do a basic research, everything is there. Okay, and it's a small research institute. Not many people work, so every time it will be free. Okay, so there is like three divisions. Material science, I mean, like things you would need are almost free. I mean, like it will not be occupied kind of a thing. And one more thing, here we do pay for using instruments. If you know that, like if I have to use SEM,
Yeah,
I do have to pay for it, like from my project basically. Not I have to
yeah.
pay, but then project. It's a thing in Sweden, but it's not in Japan. It's by the institute.
Mm.
It's
Oh,
by the
great.
institute. So that is one easy thing. So you can just book,
Yeah,
go work, which is quite nice. Okay, here some instruments you have to run around a bit, but that's not an issue, I feel. I mean, like if you want to do, the instruments were quite nice, but yeah, I think research becomes easy when there is resources. So
yeah,
try to go to institutes where there is not enough issue with resources. Then you will not be cracking your head like where to do your NMR, and because you can't do your NMR, then you can't go forward with your research. So that will take a time. Like if you're doing your NMR after 3 months, I mean, like that is like your 3 months are gone without doing anything. This will be like reading newspapers kind. So try to go if you're looking into any research kind of a PhD kind of a thing. Do go for institutes. I mean, like pretty nice institutes all across Europe and Japan. Yeah.